why I did not tell Atiku when I left the PDP to join the Labour Party. Peter Obi, during his live interview with Channels TV on Monday, revealed why he did not tell Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the PDP, that he would be resigning from the PDP. According to him, he noted that Atiku Abubakar remains his older brother, and he stated that when he left the PDP, he didn't tell Atiku, including his family members, that he would be resigning from the PDP, so to avoid them discouraging him. He noted that he didn't want anyone, including Atiku Abubakar, to talk him out of his decision. Smart. Peter Obi stated that there's time in one's life he would have to make decisions and won't tell people so as to avoid people talking them out of it. He stated he didn't tell Atiku Abubakar so as to avoid inconveniencing him and avoid him talking him out of his decision. I mean, I don't... Something is just telling me this is not the real reason, but, this is a good... someone could say, oh, wow, fantastic, great reason. I mean, makes sense. Because, again, he's in a space where, of course, they want to convince you to stay, and then telling his family members and thinking, oh, you've worked for this. I mean, he took a very risky position. I mean, 3 days before the primaries, he left. Who would let that happen? I mean, even no one would. No, I'm like, in your right mind, why? Of all times, fine, you can leave, fine, but not 3 days to primaries. That is crazy. And I think, sometimes I think we don't really understand the extent, or we don't understand how surprising, how amazing that is, to be honest, because imagine being in that position and deciding to leave. That is a lot. But something in me tells me that that may not necessarily be, that may be part of the reason, but may not be all of the reason as to why he didn't tell Atiku Abubakar, because, I'm not that I'm saying I know what the reason is, but, this is a very media-friendly, interview-friendly meaning. I mean, he's got it. You may have finally committed a political suicide because you may find it difficult to contest for Senate after the woeful failure that awaits you in a presidential election. Okay? It was a very wise move. As a matter of fact, you owe Atiku no apology at all. Of course, why do you owe him an apology? He's not the leader of the party. Is he? I don't think so. You owe Atiku nothing, so no explanation for anything. Sick. Nigerians are seriously behind you, Peter the Rock. On you, Nigeria will be built again, okay? You'll be given ministerial post by Atiku. Do not worry, okay? This is disloyalty. I feel you wouldn't be trusted anyway. You're talking disloyalty in a very scattered and very, what's the word? It's Nigerian politics. It's politics. It's politics. I don't understand. I mean, we just said that almost 200 people from APC and PDP, actual members, have defected to Labour Party. So what are you saying? I mean, of course, the Edmonds are going to have to decide how they're going to go about it. But, having that mistrust is not going to be far-fetched. But fact is, I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, people have been defecting from one side to another for so many years. I mean, again, why would he leave? If he wanted to be president, I mean, he must have seen that it's very unlikely for him to have won, so that's why he probably left. But what would that reason have been? What would have pushed him to do that? That is where the question lies, not necessarily, I mean, again, that's... The fact is, we need to know the reason why he even left. I mean, that's a whole different situation. But it probably was the fact that he was unlikely to win in that party. It's as simple as that, to be honest. There's really nothing else that would say opposite. Well, in my opinion, anyway. So, it totally makes sense. It totally does make sense. But I think, again, it's a media-friendly answer. So, yeah. That's true maturity. As long as he left peacefully, there should be no problem. Sigh of a betrayer. Betrayer of what? I'm sorry. Listen. There's... when you're going to be, I mean, from the news from what we know, you have to buy your form. Excuse me, if he bought his form, if you bought your form to be able to apply under the party, listen, you can't tell me he purchased it. So if he decides that he doesn't want to be there and doesn't want to use it to the full extent of his money's worth, who are you to question it? He bought it anyway. He bought the form to be able to compete. Well, I'm assuming that because that's what they say, you buy forms. So I don't think, you competing with the likes of Atiku would not require that you are on the same level in terms of getting there, So I think for Peter Obi, he really owes no one an explanation. Again, if he decided to leave, then he decided to leave. If they find that it's a loss, well, it's a loss for PDP. That is theirs. That is their problem. And I think, again, I think it's so key when he decided to leave, because if he didn't leave, I mean, so many outcomes would have happened. But I think, getting this much traction was just so unexpected. I mean, look at the popularity that he has and influence. I don't think it's a coincidence. You guys will be asking Obi critical and basic questions during interview, but when he gets to Atiku'S, Tinubu, you'll be asking questions that don't relate to what is on board. I think to an extent that is true, because again, I mean, Tinubu has just not even done anything when it comes to media rounds, please. But with Peter Obi, again, he's new, so I think he just has to go through the process of just being tried. It's as simple as that. And of course, doing the work, he'll get his supporters. But for Tinubu and Atiku, who have been in this space, I don't think we're at a point where we're asking them if they know what they're doing or if they're right for the job. I think indirectly or subconsciously, for everybody, even those that would even interview him, the truth behind the questions, all of the questions that will be asked is, do you deserve to be there? That is literally where I think most of the questions will come from. And I think that's what Nigerians really, because it's a thing where you've been in power for so long and you've been incompetent. So why should you be there? What makes you think you should be there? Not necessarily your plan. I mean, we've heard so many manifestos. We've heard so many people say what they're going to do to Nigeria. I mean, we've heard it all. But for Atiku and Tinubu, it's a thing where we're questioning why. Just why do you want to be in this space? I think there's also a little bit of shock and surprise. It's just with Peter B, you can say he is a presidential candidate in all aspects, because again, he's been in power, he's had the experience, he's just good. But then you have two others that are one and the same, who've got records and records of, I think, disqualifying factors that could ruin their chances of even getting to that seat. But again, in a country like Nigeria, where there are no consequences for what you do, it doesn't really matter. But if you compare them, I mean, it's like they have compounding. Tinubu and Atiku, they have compounding evidence against them to put them, aside. So again, when they are questioned, we don't even, I think we've gone past the place of competence, because they've proven that they're not competent, to be honest. So it's a thing where, we're not asking based on what they can do. We're asking based on, should you be here? Literally, I don't think this club is meant for you, but you're trying to get it. But it's okay. Put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.